This rating decision is a stark reminder of the debt problems built up in Britain over the last decade, and a warning to anyone who thinks we can run away from dealing with those problems. And we on this side of the House will not do that. I can report, Mr. Speaker, that we have not seen excessive volatility in the markets today. 10-year government gilts are broadly flat, trading at 2.1%, within the trading range of the last week and near the very lowest rates of borrowing in our history. The FTSE 100 is currently up, and the credit rating is an important benchmark for any country, but this government's economic policy is tested day in and day out in the markets, and it has not been found wanting today. Families and businesses see the benefit of that in these very low interest rates. And, Mr. Speaker, if we accept the outcome of the rating agency decision, we must accept the reasons given for that decision. Moody's point to the combined impact of what they describe as slow growth in the global economy and the necessary domestic, public and private sector deleveraging process. In other words, the process of winding down the huge debts that built up in our society over the last decade. That is the environment we are operating in, dealing with the very high deficit and debt trajectory that this country had coming out of the financial crisis.
The downgrading of Britain's credit rating is, in this Chancellor's own words, a humiliation for this government. Let me remind the House what he promised at the general election. He said the British people will have transparent benchmarks against which they can judge the economic success or failure of the next government. Number one, we will safeguard Britain's credit rating. The first economic test he set himself now failed by this downgraded Chancellor, Mr. Speaker. And yet, as we saw today, he remains in complete denial, offering more of the same failing medicine, even while Moody's now agree sluggish growth is the main problem.
Well, I have to say to the Shadow Chancellor, he finds himself in this contradictory position of seeking an urgent question on a rating decision he says we should ignore, about a debt burden he admits he would add to, in order to attack a government that is sorting out the mess that he created. And what exactly is his policy? 6 times on the radio he was asked this weekend whether the answer to more borrowing and too much borrowing is to borrow even more. And he would not answer the question. It is an economic policy that dare not speak its name.